I do have a question though for you guys. As four dudes that I'm talking to right now, is that not known information that women usually don't know that they're pregnant that early in the pregnancy, like 6 weeks? Because that's the thing that comes up a lot. You know, most women don't know that they're pregnant at 6 weeks. Is that a thing that men are not aware of?
If you don't hang around women a lot, I would say most males don't know that. Luckily, the
Yeah,
the four of us all are very close with women, and
yeah.
I know like at least with me, I've was raised a lot with my mom and sister, so I got just like very early age was able to learn a lot about that stuff. Thankfully, um, shout out to Jean, Bam's best friend.
No, yeah,
Um,
that's definitely something I knew
yeah,
about for
yeah,
sure.
we all knew about that, but
I
there's
will
plenty of
def
guys that don't.
I will definitely say I learned about that very late in my life. Like, there's American sex ed and reproductive health more broadly is terrible. I mean, Sean, I remember it was cut after our year in high
Yep,
school. It just didn't teach it anymore.
we
So
were
What?
the
like,
last class. Yep.
yeah, and like what we had wasn't that great. We basically had, I mean, to be frank, a recovering alcoholic kind of opine to us for like half a semester for, like a couple times a week about, very questionable methods of sexual, like more again, like that American sort of trope that sexual health or sexual ed is preaching to you about like certain morals about what to do rather than saying, hey, listen, here's how to protect yourself. Here's some information to keep yourself well informed and smart, which is what I think in some of the better parts of sexual education that I've had, like culturally, like just out of other cultures. I think that's a good thing. Just like be transparent about those things so people know what to look out for and be aware of. But yeah, I think a lot of men don't understand that. And it's just a factor of our upbringing, me even just reading this stuff in politics, of me even having a slight clue this late in my life.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd
So
be. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, no. I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, okay. No, just I'm kind of with Dan and Sean. I'd be lying to you if I'd said that my whole life I kind of knew about this stuff, but I think that obviously more recently, more later into my life, I kind of learned more, and I think that's why my approach has always been like I'm the last person to ever try to take a stance on whether what women should do and should they be penalized and stuff for abortions. I'm like, if it's just something that's already terribly, if sex education is so terribly done already, especially in we all came from the same district basically. Education, it's already done so terribly, and information so spread out terribly. Why, as me as a male who doesn't really doesn't understand fully the whole process, why would I be the one being a part of enacting any law or support any law that prohibits women from doing anything with their body? That's why my stance has always been like, this is not something that I should be running or doing. So I was like, I thought this law was dumb in general, and I've always kind of been against any kind of an abortion law, anything that prohibits women doing anything with their body in the first place.
So that's kind of why I was asking because, and I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot. Like, I'm not trying to shame you guys for not knowing that, because I think a lot of women also don't talk about things like that. But the thing is, if you look at the picture of who was signing the bill away, it was a whole bunch of white dudes, and there were some women in there, but a lot of men who were dictating this legislation. And, 6 weeks, people, I think the argument that usually comes up is that women have a monthly cycle. So by 6 weeks, you would know if you missed one. That's not the case because a lot of women are on birth control.
Oh, they're
So that
irregular too.
indication, exactly.
It
Yeah. And
happens
there's a
all the
lot of
time.
irregularities. There's a lot of stuff that can happen with your body because it's your body, right? Guys have the same thing. It's a very fickle ecosystem that we're managing. So 6 weeks is not a lot of time for anything to happen really in your body like that. And I don't know why there's men making these rules. I don't know why men also feel like they're not complicit in women getting pregnant and why that they're so blameless in all of this and why all of the repercussions have to be held on the woman. And then on top of that, there's that whole bounty thing. And so the guy, he works for the Texas Tribune, and the Tribune is actually a pretty good publication out of Texas. It's kind of one of my go-tos whenever I just need like the facts on an issue on what is actually happening. They are left-leaning and they're not very sensationalist, in my opinion. I'm probably more sensationalist than a right-winger would be comfortable with. but they do tend to at least attempt to stick to the facts. And this whole thing with the $10,000 bounty, yeah, there's a lot of stipulations according with it that go along with it. But the fact of the matter, just the fact that it's even in there, that it's a part of all this, that they're kind of making vigilantes out of all these, quote unquote, pro-life people, all these conservatives. I already don't trust my neighbors. I already don't know who is outside of my door. And this is not helping. All it's doing is creating more divides. It's literally turning people against their neighbors in the name of some really strange religious agenda. And, this isn't a plug, but on my podcast, I look at a lot of things, a lot of conflicts around the world and what leads to them, how they get that bad. And a lot of it, most of these cases, you see instances of minorities ruling a majority population. And that's very much what's happening here in Texas right now. Because right now, Governor Greg Abbott, his approval rating is the lowest it's ever been. Thank God. I mean, at least we know that the people are on our side.